Part 5 of Two Diaries, etc., by Miss Susan R. Jervey et al. This recording is in the public domain. Part 5. The 55th Massachusetts. Extract from the diary of Colonel Charles B. Fox, covering the visit of black troops to Somerset and Mexico plantations. April 7. The march was continued until the head of the column arrived within a short distance of Monk's Corner, when it turned to the left, on the south side of the Santee Canal, and moved toward Pinopolis, a village of summer residences similar to Pineville, though smaller. Few families or articles contraband of war were found there. A detachment sent from Monk's Corner to the canal and creek bridges on the Biggin Church Road reported no sign of the enemy in that direction. After marching until after dark, the command bivouacked, in line of battle, near the house of Mr. Kane, the artillery in position, and the men sleeping at the foot of their gun stacks. Squads of cavalry were reported in front and rear, and a mounted party in advance of the infantry were fired on just as the line for bivouac was formed. The cavalry seen, however, did not number over 25 or 30, and the report of troops in line of battle in the front proved to be an error. Mr. Kane's house and plantation were very fine. He claimed to have made an agreement with his former slaves, with which they were satisfied. Whether they were or not, few of them left him at that time. Many of the trees and fences around the yard were cut to strengthen the position, but the house and grounds were not otherwise injured. April 8. The line of march was resumed in the early morning in a drizzling rain, through the plantations to the Black Oak Road, to Pineville, where a halt for dinner was made, thence to Mexico, to the plantation of W. M. Porcher. As the troops left Kane's plantation, the carriage barn was fired. Whether by accident or design is not known. The fire did not, however, spread to other buildings. At Pineville all sorts of rumors were current of the cruelties practiced by the guerrilla cavalry, who were said to have shot and hung many of the negroes in the vicinity. The men of the regiment were greatly excited, and effort was necessary to preserve discipline. It was difficult to trace most of the reports to their source, but it is to be feared that some of them had too good foundation. One thing was certain, that a company of negroes had a fight at Pineville with a squad of rebel scouts under Lieutenant Pettus, in which the latter had been at first defeated, and only effected their purpose after the arrival of reinforcements. Alarmed by these stories and events, an exodus of the freed people commenced at this point, which continued during the remainder of the expedition, until the refugee train was far larger than the rest of the column. The Porcher homestead was the most elegant which the expedition had seen. The house was filled with articles of convenience and luxury, with treasures of art and family relics. It was situated in a large park, shaded by magnificent trees. The position was good, and the line was formed for bivouac, the right at the mansion house, the left beyond that of the overseer, the outbuildings over which guards were placed being in the rear. There was slight picket firing during the night, probably, however, at cattle and hogs. The march was resumed soon after daylight. Mr. Porcher was known to have been an original and most decided rebel, and he was taken to Charleston as a prisoner, but his property would not have been destroyed as it was, had he not, in reply to the question of the provost marshal, if he had any wine in his cellars, merely stated that he had not, omitting to say that he had a large amount in the garret. During the night a quantity of this liquor reached the mounted men of the escort, and probably some of the refugees; and by one or the other, while in liquor, the house and all the outbuildings, except the dwelling of the overseer, which was saved by the exertions of Chaplain Bowles, who had spent the night there, were set fire to and destroyed as soon as the guards were withdrawn and the troops upon the march. As soon as the existence of the wine was ascertained by the provost marshal, Captain Torrey, he destroyed what remained of it. End of Part 5. End of Two Diaries from Middle St. John's, Berkeley, South Carolina, by Susan Ravenel Jervey et al.